Sportin Wales podcast.
Supported by DragonBet,
Your go-to for Welsh sports news and views.
Hello and welcome back to Sportin Wales podcast with me, Alex Cuthbert. And on today, got a man I know very well in Josh Navidi. Mate, how are you?
I'm good, mate.
Good? Good weekend?
Yeah, it's quite busy.
DJing? I've seen you DJing with Haskell.
DJing all sorts. He smashed it to play. He was really good. Yeah, in the arch and Neath. Yeah, it was good.
I did I had an event with Haskell on Saturday, and I'll be honest, he carried us all.
Did he?
Me and Super Gav Henson. He is funny bloke.
He hasn't changed old Gav though, hasn't he?
Gav, he walked in with his 05 Wales top that he played against England, and he was like, right, I'm just waiting for a phone call before the game. And he looks like he's literally come out of a cryo chamber. He looks no older, still tanned, and same haircut.
Yeah, I think he's still playing in Pencoed.
Is he?
Still bossing it down there. I think someone one of the boys was saying tried to late hit him and he got around him. So they're still after him,
He doesn't quite fill the jersey out as much as he used to, but he was in good form. And Haskell, like I said, he's a funny bloke, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he's really good.
You can tell he's done a lot of dinners. Obviously on the pod today, we're going to chat around a bit Six Nations review. A bit about Lions, Josh. Next Wales coach, there's I don't know. No one knows today what's going to happen. Yeah, I think we do a better job than what's been named. But and then obviously we got a little bit on the women's Six Nations. If obviously anyone wants a bit more of their Six Nations fix, so we'll go straight into it. Six Nations review. Obviously we want to be positive. What are the positives to take away? You think for Wales? From a tournament sort of point of view, do you reckon?
For me, it's hard, isn't it? Because you look at the start and the first two games we played away, we had France, Italy away, and then that Ireland game then, the performance was there. I was there at the stadium and the atmosphere and everything around it was good. You could see the boys attacking threats and stuff. And then obviously England, the last game. I think you look at that and you look back. This is how I looked at it. 2019 Grand Slam game, Ireland, we absolutely battered them in the stadium. But you look at the games before, England have been simmering. They've just been winning games. It's that was kind of what happened in 2019. We didn't have answers, but Ireland were fast, physical. They're all on the same hymn sheet, and it shows everything clicked for them. But I think when you look at Wales, where we are, everything going on outside the four walls of the boys they go out there week in, week out, give everything. Jack Morgan, has been outstanding. Having Anscombe come back in, it's nice to see him back out there.
Yeah.
But
did you see that scoreline though? I didn't see that scoreline see coming.
I didn't. I mean, we said, a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, we love an upset in Wales. But it probably came too early with the 20s on the Friday, having that win against England that they've been battering side. So it's probably came a day before, but I didn't see that coming. But it's been simmering for England, what they've been doing. But it was a tough watch to be here. I would being in the stadium. It was really flat. It was 50-50, fans, I reckon. With English and Welsh, but I think being in the stadium is so flat. It wasn't any Wales when we were attacking.
No, Swing Low. If I hear that song again, oh my god, I throw something at the radio, whatever it is. But it was weird, wasn't it? In terms of, I think jockey Matt Sherratt spoke. He said he spoke to Steve Borthwick on the field or something, and England actually went through a sort of similar phase, didn't they? Remember they got smashed 60 points at home to France.
Yeah, I
think that was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
so it happened to them, and obviously look where they are now in 3 years. So maybe that's something that we have to sort of grasp. So maybe we can get to something like that.
We can. We got. I believe we got the players in Wales to do it. I think it's just. It's a new generation. I go back to this is because me and you, we played all the way through. Boys were playing a lot of seasons together and getting to know each other because there's been so many new combinations of players. Swapping and changing, having likes of Chicken Anscombe leading a 10 as experience, I think is huge. And that, Thomas Williams he's been outstanding for Gloucester. I think it's just one of those things that is going to take time. And I think going to Japan when the Lions is on, I think is going to be good for us, and is going to be a lot of boys who are going to get more experience. And at the end of the day, you look forward I know we want everything now, and you want Six Nations to compete in and stuff like that. But like, do you mean World Cup's going to be coming up shortly? But then
be interesting that summer tour, I think, for me, because obviously we talk about that consistency with selection.
Yeah.
This sort of tour is usually a tour, wasn't it? Like you used to do these tours.
Well, yeah.
The only time I used to get a cap for 5-6 years.
That's what I used to joke about. Like, so my first cap was 2013 Lions tour against Japan. Worst cap ever. I got knocked out, broke a nose, and we lost to Japan. And they done perfect. They like midday game. It was boiling hot.
Humidity,
90% humidity. And then 4 years later, I had my obviously second cap, and I was joking, oh yeah, this is my Lions tour. And then 4 years later, I'm on Lions tour. But you look back to 2013 when we actually lost to Japan, the boys that we had playing, it was like Sanjay, Patch, Bradley Davis, Biggs, I'm sure he was there. Like,
he was on that.
Yeah, so like there's some big names that went through, and obviously, but like they were a good side, and then they beat South Africa like 2 years later, and it's like a weight off my shoulders.
It wasn't that bad. It felt bad at the time,
but I think
they were brewing obviously something big.
Do you mean Eddie Jones gone back there? I think you can't go out there like calling it a guaranteed win, because like I think where we are, I think is the game time the boys get, and they would have had a lot of experience learning from this, and it was nice to see that, just that attacking threat we posed. Like at times we looked really, really good, but just England were good on the weekend.
We didn't get any luck, mind, did we?
No.
You know, Blair Murray could have had a hat trick.
Oh, yeah.
We were, you know, that chip and that Luke Cowan-Dickey, hell of an ankle.
What was the try that came off? Who's someone's head?
Elliot Daly's head. He's kicked through, isn't he? Yeah.
Do you mean like stuff like that? It's not going going our way. Like the bouncer ball. I know you say luck and stuff. You create your own luck, but when stuff like that is happening, it makes it worse.
Yes, it was tough, wasn't it? Because I thought there was quite a few Lions, I guess, dress rehearsals in terms of positions, wasn't there? And I'd say England probably come out on top quite heavily on that. But we'll speak a bit about earlier. Obviously, France, worthy winners, I'd say, of the tournament. You know, I'd say they're pretty unlucky not to win Grand Slam. You know, they battered England first 40, and the game was them, wasn't it? But I'd say they're worthy winners. Yeah,
God, hands down, they have been one of the best teams for the last 4 years. It's just like it's everything. Like, do you mean they should have won a Grand Slam? But fair play to England. Doing just squeezing past.
Yeah, that started their little run. They've won 3 in a row now, isn't it? I think so. And they ended up accumulating they looked a decent side against Wales. I don't know, probably more we sort of.
But they're so strong. Like you look at their pack, they're all doing 110, 120 Ks plus throughout, and dealing that as a forward pack, you're defending that, and then you got the back line they got with DuPont and Nentamak and all them. To me, it's frightening, and it's like you're constantly getting pressure on yourself.
Yeah, they'll obviously I think they're going to New Zealand in the summer, so that'll be without DuPont. But it's a shame he's not going to be down there playing. Any under or sort of overachievers in the tournament for you in terms of teams or sort of players that you thought, fair play, they stood up for maybe a Lions or not even maybe that?
God, it's hard, isn't it? Because
England probably overachieved, I thought, considering watching them,
Yeah.
Well, I didn't expect them to beat France, and then obviously they did well against Ireland. I know they lost it the last 20-odd, but Scotland was another one they hung in. I'd say Scotland underachieved for me.
Yeah, Scotland. Every Six Nations I find that you say that. Like Scotland, the team on paper looks so frightening, but then they seem to not kick on. Like I think 2 years ago I said they could be competing for the championship, and I think they came like 4th or something like that. And some of the games, like they've been on a running streak with England, like winning games. They just lost this one for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
But I feel with the side they got, and I think the age range that they're all at, like they're well-gelled team, but feels like they just don't kick on kind of thing.
It's just that consistency, isn't it? But I could see there'd be you could give a sort of like an answer to that Lions back line could be all Scottish, really.
Yeah.
With Finn, Tuapolota, Hugh Jones, Van der Merwe, Kinghorn, Das, all those, they're going to be there.
And you look at like ex-players who have put their teams out. There's a lot of Scottish like thrown in, like Finn.
More than in
King
past.
on, yeah.
Dude, I think with my tour there was 2.
Yeah.
Richie Gray and Stuart Hogg.
Yeah, but it shows where they're at as players. I think when I went on the Lions tour, Laura's Scottish as well.
Yeah.
So it shows like how much they've developed over the years. Because I remember when we used to go up with Cardiff, it was a guaranteed win going up there.
Used to be, yeah. And then it sort of changed a bit then, didn't it? When Glasgow, they got pretty good. Well, they've won the league since then, haven't they? Yeah. Go on, at last bit. Your player of the tournament. A few candidates in there.
God, there's loads in there.
You put Jack Morgan.
He's been outstanding.
He's obviously not up for the real award, but he,
like I told you, for me, he's been class. He's been really good, yeah.
And going in as captain, which is another level, really.
He just goes about his business so well, and I think, like, years ago, you speak about him stuff, but like Earl's been outstanding for England.
I think Minicello's up for it. BRE, Freeman, and someone else, I can't remember, are up for the award.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've just picked the 4 players who've won of the match most of the games.
Well, yeah,
they used to do that, do you know that? So I think 2012, when Dan Lydiate won, he had the most man of the matches.
That's how they picked it.
That's how they used to do it.
God, he used to class them when he flipping it.
Oh, yeah. He chopped out. He's well deserved, yeah. He was man of the match every game.
Who would you go with?
I would probably BRE, the French winger. I think to score as many tries as he scored. They're not just run-ins, though. Some of them are absolute worldies.
Yeah.
And obviously Tommy Freeman's I got to give a hand up to score in every single game.
That's
really tough. Yeah, that is really hard. I remember I come close once. I think I scored against 4, but to score in every one, and then BRE, I think he's got the record, like 8 tries.
Is it? I don't know that.
But like it helps obviously when you're in a team.
Yeah,
that are beating Italy by 70 points and Wales by 48. So he's probably going to win it, I think.
Yeah.
But, obviously, Wales winning the wooden spoon. The question is getting a bit highlighted more now, especially being called out by Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgian rugby, Richard Cockerell's been pretty mouthy on this, hasn't he? What do you think about that? About having a playoff and whoever wins?
I think it's crazy because you look at Wales in the actual past Six Nations. We've won so many Grand Slams and championships that to actually, I know playoffs you make it exciting and it's never guaranteed. You're going to be in the competition, but we're going through a regeneration as such, and I think it's just getting it's press, innit? You want to put it out there.
Yeah.
He wants Georgia have been during the last World Cup. They had a couple of wins, big wins as well, and they have developed as a nation. But Six Nations started as a 4 nations, and it's grown from that. So I don't know. I wouldn't like to see a playoffs, but I think it does put more pressure on there.
Yeah, I think the tournament without Wales would just seem. It'd be really strange.
Yeah. Imagine the game on the weekend, Cardiff, town centre, England coming to town. It's a huge match day. It's a huge spectacle, and I think you'd lose that.
Yeah,
I think you'd lose that.
Yeah, I can't see it happening really, and I actually think the boys would win anyway. I don't think it'd be as close as people think, just because we're in that transition. But I've seen enough.
Added to the summer tour.
Yeah, so I'd probably add it a game, wouldn't they? But you've got to give it to Richard Cockerell. He's got to try something, isn't he? He's got to try and get Georgia out of that sort of tier 2, 3 sort of. Because they are winning well.
They are battering sides. Do you mean they are a very strong team?
But if you do it as a fan, would you want to go and watch Italy v Georgia or Wales v Georgia away? Or,
yeah, that's where the conversation comes to, isn't it?
You got to think how much money they're going to bring to the tournament, because at the end of the day, we're relying on a lot of the funds from Six Nations, aren't we?
Yeah, that's true.
As unions. So yeah, conversations I guess will keep going, and I'm sure that'll probably be put to bed hopefully soon once Wales start winning some games. Moving on from that, Lions wise. I'm looking forward to the Lions. I can't wait. I'm hoping we're going to get a few Welsh boys, because obviously we're going down under, so we want to be supporting a few lads. What do you think? What do you think we have a few Welsh boys in there?
I think so. You look at doing Thomas, Anscombe as well, playing for Gloucester. They've been outstanding. Jack Morgan, everyone's talking about him, not just Welsh people. Doing English, Scottish, Irish.
Yeah, he's in a lot of teams of the tournament.
Yeah, and I think rightly so. And it'd be a shame if he doesn't, because I think, but that back row's so competitive. Do you mean with Van der Fleer, stuff like that. And Doris doing
Dodge. There's loads of
doing.
good
You could
ones.
pick the
Currys.
Curry brothers.
That's what I'm saying about the weekend. I feel like the weekend would have swayed a lot of.
But I think
questions.
it'll work well for like people who can play like you look at Ty Burn, you can play second row and back row and filter in between. So like doing it's a long tour, it's like with the games you got to play, with the week games and weekend, like doing is constant. So you need that squad that can facilitate playing across. And I think Jack can play 6, 7 and 8.
Do you think there's a possibility that there might not be a Wales player selected to the tour?
No,
Surely not.
I wouldn't see that.
No.
I like doing because of the results we've had. I think it's going to be difficult, but he might look at it. Farrell might look at it from a different perspective and like going, "Oh, these are the boys that are playing well for club," and maybe watching it that way, and maybe they might not go down the route like doing with when Gats was there. He knew the Welsh boys inside and out.
It's going to be hard for the Welsh boys now, though, because obviously we're not in the top tier in European Cup, are we?
Yeah.
So in theory, for Farrell to go and watch the boys, he probably won't. That'd be it now, wouldn't it? In terms of a lot of the Welsh boys, other than the lads probably playing in the Premiership.
Yeah, it depends, like selectors and stuff. They'll have conversations, and I think where do you go from there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
you hope so. Like I'd love to see it, but
you going down on that?
No, I'm not currently. Are you?
I'm going. I'm going for a bit of
the plane, but
bit of holiday. I don't think I'm playing. I'll definitely, hopefully, doing a bit of work. Who's your captain? Has it changed since the start of the tour? Because obviously everyone was like, Doris is 100% captain. Now Mara Toje's coming to it.
Yeah, I think like at the start, everyone's saying Doris, but I think like for me, like you either have like a 7, a 7 or like a second row, like a Toje as your captain.
Guaranteed starter.
Yeah, like I think like a Toje's been like outstanding. I think you want like that back row so competitive.
Yeah.
You want whoever's guaranteed in that team sheet. And I think, like, when you've got a 10 as a captain, it's always difficult because they got so much on their plate.
Yeah.
It's something that they shouldn't be worrying about, like dealing with the ref and stuff like that. So I think, I reckon Maro.
Yeah, he seems to be sort of, everyone's sort of touting it a little bit now because he obviously did quite well with England, didn't he? And
yeah, I wonder what the odds are. You probably know, won't you?
They're definitely shorter than they were because I think Doris was really odd time. I can still see Doris probably getting picked just for that relationship with.
He's class. He's world class, and I think as an 8, getting over that gain line, the way that Ireland play, and obviously Farrell, you'll be there.
Yeah. All right. Quick one. Just your quick Lions 15.
Okay.
Just like
I have actually got
off the top of your head.
I got actually a list.
I'm going to ask everyone now when everyone comes in.
I made a list, so I went Kinghorn, Van der
15 now.
Merwe, Van der Merwe, Ollie Lawrence, but I don't know how
he's gone now. He's I think he's done his Achilles.
That's it. Bundy, Lowe, Prendergast, and I went Gibson Park, but I'd love to see Thomas because his skill set's ridiculous. Genge, Sheehan, Furlong, Toje, Byrne, Tom Curry, Morgan, Doris or Earl.
Yeah, that seems to be sort of everyone's sort of... It's the back 3 for me, I think, is a bit of a problem. Yeah. I don't think we've... who was I chatting to the other day? We don't seem to have a lot of gas, like out-and-out gas. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I think Van der Merwe is probably going to be in there because he can break tackles, offloads.
And
Darcy, I think Darcy's got an opportunity because he's rapid, like he's sharp. We haven't really got anyone. So, but Van der Merwe and James Lowe only play left wing.
Okay, that's where you come in. And
like people keep putting Van der Merwe on the right. I'm not sure he may be able to play on the right, but I've never seen him play on the right.
Okay,
and I've never seen James Lowe play on the right.
To defend and stuff, isn't it? Yeah,
a little bit of that, and obviously when you play left wing, you receive a lot more kicks.
Okay,
so I don't know, maybe
he's actually. I remember the tour I went on, and he's like. The South Africans game in it, and he put it up. He's such a big man as well.
Yeah, he's big,
and the law changes. But I think it's going to be a lot more attacking because the way Australia play.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, do I put Marcus Smith? Because I remember we were playing anaerobic games in the Lions tour.
Was he good?
Mate, I was like, give the ball to Marcus. Like, do you know when he played with Thomas or Jared? It's like, just give him the ball.
Was he good? Was he that good?
He was unreal. He was like same as Thomas. Give him the ball, and he went back to back like 3 times.
What, running around with ball in one hand, doesn't he? I'll tell you the other one, Shane Williams, mate. First day I ever went to training back in 2011, autumn. And I've obviously never played against Shane or played with him. But boys are like, mate, just if you're against Shane, just don't give him any space whatsoever. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'll give him the outside. I'll catch him. No joke. Couldn't get a hand on him. He was so sharp. Even like at retiring then, he was unbelievable touch. Everyone was just like, yeah, like you said, give the ball to Shane, and he'd skin everyone.
It's like that, Marcus. That's why I think it's a different Lions tour, and it's going to be a lot attack instead of like doing against South Africa was that aerial battle.
Yeah.
Driving Lions, that's what you get from South Africa. But like Australia, the way they play, it's the league type of style. The way that like doing like
high scoring games. I reckon
2-3 years ago, you were like looking at Australia, like flipping heck, like it's going to be a clean sleep, and then come this autumn, you're like actually.
No, they got some good players,
and they're going to come back. They're going to come out of the what's called the Pacific. I don't know what it's called now. I always call it Tri-Nations. But coming out of the back of that into Lions tour, they're going to be well gelled, doing tough games they will have.
Yeah, Joe Schmidt's pretty sharp coach, mate. And they got
really good coach. Really good
world
coach.
Players. Yeah, well, hopefully it's a good tour and we get some Marsh lads on it. A little bit on the Wales coach or director of rugby or whatever the union want to call it. Obviously, jockey Matt Sherritt, we know him well from Cardiff. Jumped in as interim for the last 3 games. How do you think he did? I thought he did really well. He should be proud of his
really
job.
Well, yeah. Like the energy. You know what he's like. The energy he brings to sessions. He's a good bloke. You can
good man management. Isn't he, in terms of
wicked.
The players.
That's his thing. Is like he started in England as development for younger players, and it shows with what he's done with Cardiff. The boys are retired. There's a young generation there, and like everyone's on the same hymn sheet. And same with when he went to Wales. Like he just basically told the boys, have a go, have a crack. Because like we didn't really fire shots in the first 2 games, and it was nice to see like that first home game against Ireland. Not a big change, but it was actually a big change. But like actually, the first 2 away games were tough, and then we came back and we put a performance against Ireland, and it
looked emotionally a big game, didn't it? Ireland, that seemed a lot of pressers on that game. Like, oh, how are they going to react?
And there's a couple of boys coming in as well, and he wanted to make his own stamp. And
it'd been interesting to see if he was in from the start. Italy away and with jockey in charge, whether they would have had enough to beat them.
Italy done very well in the aerial battle and that game. I just remember watching
the weather helped, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that aerial game was like that's where it went wrong for us. They were just getting the bounce of the ball. They were getting in front of us. I think that's where we lost that game more than anything. Because the game plan was, you could see when we started, we were kicking like in their half, putting it up, putting pressure on them. But
game plan was a bit all over the shop, wasn't it?
Bounce of the ball. But he's done really well. But like it's like who comes in now? You got to like. If we're talking about director of rugby, like that should be appointed and then work down. Because if you have a coach now, you kind of. What happens if them 2 don't get along?
Yeah.
Like it could be as simple as that.
Have you seen some of the names banded around for Director of Rugby, like Scott Johnson and Kingsley Jones and
Lamb got yesterday, I think.
Pat Lamb is favourite, but I don't know if that's going to be for a coach or Director of Rugby. Because Director of Rugby, the role I've seen for Wales is like overseeing Wales and women's,
it's going to be everything,
nutrition, strength and condition. Like it's. I think it's too big a job. I think there needs to be 2-3 directors to try and do that. It's not that you can't have one person do that job.
Yeah, it depends what they're thinking. Do you mean like at the end of the day, these conversations happen in every coffee shop, every pub. Doing now, like who's going to come in and stuff. But
we haven't heard anything. No one's heard anything.
But I like obviously stuff's going on behind the scenes, and they made a plan. They would have. Do you mean it would have been ongoing through the Six Nations? So.
I think they should have come out and said something about like what is in the pipeline or planning or any strategies coming up, because we've lost that game by a certain amount. You had Matt Sherritt in the press conference saying, I'm done here now. Whoever comes in now, it's a big job. And it's like radio silence, isn't it? The public want to know, public want to have some sort of, want to grasp something, but and they haven't come out and said anything. They just sort of...
Unless, like, BBC know a little bit more than we do sometimes.
Well,
It does
I don't think they know anything either. So it's
I think,
bit of a,
it's tough. And like doing Czech, I got thrown in there as well. So I don't know. It's hard, like, because whoever comes in it is a big task, and it is like.
I was going to say, how big do you think it is?
It's huge, because it's like you got, like, I always say it's like an onion. You got to peel all the layers back and get to the core and work from there.
Jeez, we've had a big onion, mate, because we've been trying to do that for years.
But it's like it's kind of like that position, and do you mean making these decisions are going to be tough, and.
That's what they haven't done, though, is it,
It's
Josh?
where you start to, like, you go down as far as grassroots, because I've been doing a little bit in Bridgend with the colleges and stuff, and like Bryn Teg when I was growing up, like first 15 rugby, it was massive.
Yeah.
But like, are we missing players and all that? But then you look at the 20s, like having that win on Friday, they like, doing the players
But
are coming
15
through.
of them, Josh, are in England.
Yeah, but that's where we need to get them back
That's
over.
what I'm saying. That should be a bigger,
like the
more
colleges
funding into that. Like.
So I was speaking to someone, and like, everyone's getting dragged to obviously a Harpreys and stuff like that. But there's a lot of players who are Welsh are coming back over. So they've gone to their colleges and stuff like that. Had their education, the sports level is ridiculous over there, but they're coming back. So is that, like, I wouldn't know, because I wouldn't know the players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, to actually have them come back, like, the quality should be there. So fingers crossed it filters into into your, obviously, Cardiff, Ospreys.
I think we got to get to a point where we invest enough so these boys don't have to want to go to England and for education. I think that's an area I think.
I agree with that. I spoke with the boys at Bridgend College, and I was like, why do they go? And it's like, obviously, do you mean like offering A levels, little things like that? Yeah. Education. We lost a lot of players in Cardiff, like Chinza. Like, he went to
Dave Jenkins as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Exeter, because you could go to uni, and then alongside that be like in Exeter. But then until he finished his degree, he was then put into Exeter.
Yeah.
But like with, say, Cardiff, for instance, I know boys who are doing the uni alongside full-time rugby, and it's tough. And if you haven't got, like, I think as a player, as a youngster, to have that, I don't know what the word would be, but like to actually have that drive to actually do uni alongside being in the first team, and you are in at 7 o'clock till 2, 3. It's tough, and it's every day.
That's changed though, isn't it? From when we obviously were in academies and stuff, we weren't really around the first team, only sporadically, weren't we? And then you earn your way up to the first team. Right? These young lads are having to play first team straight away, aren't they?
Yeah,
That's probably so they don't get that 2, 3, 4 year development, I guess.
It seems
to go
like
into
Rushy, Tito, and all them retired. Like, I remember, like, you were in the academy, you came up as well, but with a group of players who was like doing 18.
Yeah, I was with Ellis, Owen Williams, we had Harry Robinson, we had Lewis Jones, we had Macaulay Cook, we had Lloyd Williams, all these lads all played Wales in it.
But then you look when Jared came up as well, he was like, I'm sure he was like 17 at the time. And he was bossing it. Like,
how do we go back to that?
But like, I think like when he turned up, he was like, I was like, he's got something. But like, it's such, like, you look at Leinster, give it for argument's sake, they got like 60, 70 players, but their 60, 70 are first team players.
Yeah.
And then their academies alongside that. And I think you look at across the regions, we're probably lucky 40, 45. And then it's boosted up with academy players. I think to go against each other week in, week out, as in like training, like I remember the starting team, the boys that haven't been picked would beat the starting team, because it was that like in Cardiff we had that like class of player that you would have that quality throughout, and it does come out on the training field then.
Yeah, it comes back to you. It comes back to budget, so doesn't it? In terms of if you're under providing funds for the regions, and you've got budgets of 3.5-4 million, then I think your depth is going to shoot. But then what happens is your quality that you train against is also diminished.
So this conversation always come down to
at the end of the day, isn't it? Look at, I think Glasgow got one of the highest budgets in the league, and you see their obviously success over the last couple of years. Yeah, they're pretty high.
What's their budget?
quite not far off Leinster's. Yeah, well, Leinster's unlimited, so as long as they win, but they haven't won anything for a while, so it'll be interesting to see how they go this year.
Get cut.
Yeah,
15.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Pat Land's obviously one of the favourites. You got Franco Smith, Michael Checker, Eddie Jones is a bit of an outsider. He'll get Wayne Peacock back.
I know people don't like Eddie.
Sean Edwards for me. I would, if whatever money they got, just get him back.
That's what,
because we'd be right if we got him.
Like Bobby made the mistake years ago. Like I remember when they let him go, and I was like it's just the way he is, and like he's so on it. And I know he's really like not harsh with you guys, but like he knew what he wanted from you guys, and he was such a quality coach. And when he left, I was like, oh God, that's a massive loss. And then what he's done with France.
You've seen it within one campaign when he went to France.
Yeah,
the
straight away.
Yeah.
And like they were always ill-disciplined and stuff like that. And
His
it showed
records.
like that from day dot.
His record's scary, isn't it? Like
you look at I'd love to see his CV as like how many championships.
I can't remember. I think I've seen something that like I think of all the Six Nations he's been involved with, I don't think he's ever finished below third or something. Because obviously with France, he's won the Grand Slam, won a championship, and they came second all the other years.
Yeah.
So
and I remember when I first came in 2018.
Oh, he won it 5 times.
We came second. So then one of the next year.
No, he's if they can get hold of him, just get him in the environment and get him back into the system. But
so
just
good
whether
bloke as well, really good bloke.
It's just whether he would want to leave France, because that team look pretty prime for the next World Cup, don't they? So obviously again this weekend we got more Six Nations. We got the women's starting. We got Sean Lynn in charge, a mate of mine from Hartbury College. Obviously just won a third PWR, is it? I think tournament. 3 in a row, fair play. So he's obviously done pretty well there.
Yeah.
They got Scotland 4:45 this weekend. I know you follow your women's game, Josh.
Yeah.
How do you think they get on?
Yeah, but do you mean since the contracts and everything come in, you can see a massive change? Because like imagine, like I have to go to work and try and play do international rugby, like the programs there and stuff, and it's getting bigger. You look at when it was at the Arms Park, it was sold out.
Yeah.
I think it's just that turn effect that needed to happen like years ago, and we're playing not like catch up as such, really.
Yeah, we're always catching up England, aren't we? Because I think the funding wise is massive. But I feel like if we're going to get any sort of rugby sort of feel good, I have a feeling Sean Lynn is one that can really try and get the best out of this women's team. And if they do beat Scotland, we got England second, and it'd be good to have some sort of feel good factor in Six Nations and not talk about 17 losses in a row, isn't it? So we need to change that narrative.
Yeah, I think it helped. Like
hopefully we
showed
get that
with the
summer.
20s, like we had that win, and like the girls, like they got a big job on their hands now.
Yeah.
To obviously get that winning vibe back.
Yeah, well, obviously, if you want to watch it, it is on this weekend against Scotland. So all the best to the women's Six Nations and my mate Sean Lynn. So hopefully go well. But cheers, Josh. Thanks for that.
Cheers,
bit of a
mate.
preview. We obviously Lions coming up, some big tournaments coming up, even with the football. So I'm looking forward to getting you back in and chatting a bit more about that. So cheers.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for tuning in to Sportin Wales podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on all socials for all things Sportin Wales.
Sportin Wales podcast,
Supported by DragonBet.
your go-to for Welsh sports news and views.